Hi, I'm Stephanie Hutchins, owner and life coach of Serotinous Life. And I forgot my remote today for my GoPro, so I'm using my phone. So let me set it down real quick. Now, I'm outside at a golf course close to my house, which also happens to be close to a highway. So I apologize for that background noise. I hope it's not too annoying for you. But today I'm going to be talking about a stress relief technique I'd like to share with my students and with my clients. And so I thought it was really appropriate to be outside in the fresh air while I talk about stress relief, okay? Because fresh air is also very great for that, as we know. Now, for those of you who don't know, I was a college professor for 11 years and taught a variety of biology courses, primarily human biology courses, like anatomy and physiology. So I'm gonna try not to get too technical today, but I will bring in some science concepts here. Because I'm going to talk about the three-part breath, which is very commonly used in yoga, and I'm also a certified yoga instructor. But it's a great technique to be able to calm you down if you're really overwhelmed, if you struggle with anxiety. And so that's why I really think it's a great tool for everybody to have in their toolbox to calm themselves down really quickly. Okay? Now, I want you to think back if you've ever seen a baby breathing, particularly when they're sleeping, you'll see that their bellies expand greatly, okay, and even their chest, it comes out like a big barrel. When the inhale and the exhale, it comes down. And then I want you to think about, like, even yourself now. I want you to think about when you inhale, does your belly come out like that? Or does your chest come out? Okay, most adults don't breathe like babies do anymore. Most adults breathe from their chest, okay? And when they inhale, their chest comes out and actually their belly stays in, okay? And they actually contract their muscles in their belly typically, okay? Now, there's a reason why I want you to think about this, okay? See, our lungs, when we inhale, they expand greatly. And they need to be able to expand to take in maximal amounts of oxygen. And so when we inhale and our chest comes out, what that's doing is allowing for expansion of our lungs, okay? Now, our diaphragm, a very important muscle in breathing, is right underneath our rib cage. And, there's also dogs, okay, at the golf course, so there's a dog barking back there, so sorry for the distractions. Now, our diaphragm comes up underneath our ribs, all right? Now, when we inhale, that muscle contracts and drops down. And the idea is to create more space for the lungs to be able to expand. Now, I want you to think about this. If you keep your belly in on the inhale, you're keeping all those organs that are there in place. So your diaphragm, when it contracts and drops down, it isn't going to be able to drop down as far. And that means your lungs aren't going to be able to expand to their fullest capacity, and you're not going to be able to take in maximal amount of oxygen, all right? So this is the point of the belly coming out, all right? If you allow your belly to come out on the inhale, all right, what that does is it allows for the diaphragm to be able to push down and those organs to move out of the way, all right? Now they're going to have space to move so the diaphragm can come down, all right? So you can get maximal inhalation. All right. Now, why this is significant, okay, is because of the effect it has on our autonomic nervous system. All right. Now, again, I'm not going to go too crazy here, but our autonomic nervous system has two primary divisions: our sympathetic division and our parasympathetic. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard of our fight or flight response, okay, the one that prepares our body for action. Well, our fight or flight response is controlled by our sympathetic nervous system. It's the one that speeds up our heart rate, speeds up our respiratory rate, again, prepping us for action. Whereas our parasympathetic division, on the other hand, is our rest and digest division. It is the one that slows our heart rate down, slows our respiratory rate down, again, preparing our body for rest, all right? Now, what happens is that, as we get older, we experience more stress, okay? As kids, we're happy-go-lucky, we're doing whatever we want, and then eventually as we get older, we're told we can't do this and we can't do that, and we have to act this way and we have to act that way. And then we get older, we have more and more responsibility. And what starts to happen is when we start becoming stressed, our muscles start to tighten and constricting, prepping us for action. That's part of our fight or flight response. Now, part of what ends up happening is we end up constricting muscles around our chest and our abdomen and chest. And so what happens over time is we start to breathe more shallow, more frequent breaths, okay, as we get older. And we stop breathing into our belly as much, all right? And I challenge you on your own to think about, when you're on your own, when you inhale, are you naturally breathing into your abdomen or are you breathing into your chest? And if you naturally breathe into your chest, meaning when you inhale, your chest comes out and not your belly, it's going to take practice, what I'm going to show you, and that's okay. But what happens over time when you continually breathe into your chest, you're creating a muscle memory. You're telling your body that this is how it's supposed to work when you're breathing. So this breath pattern I'm going to teach you is about retraining your body, okay, to take that fuller breath. And what's going to happen is something amazing, all right? When you start breathing into your belly, okay, it gives a shift to your brain. It says, wow, they must be okay, all right? Because when you breathe out of your chest, you're activating your sympathetic nervous system. When you breathe a more shallow, more frequent breath, it's signaling to your brain you're not okay, all right? And that it needs to prepare your body for action. And this leads to a whole bunch of issues with, digestive issues and chronic pain with tightening of muscles. Whole nother story for a whole nother day. But what happens is when you start breathing into your belly, it says to your brain, no, they must be okay, because they're consciously doing that. They're consciously sending that inhale into their belly. So if they can consciously focus on sending breath into their belly, they must not be fighting danger or running away from danger. So we can calm down the sympathetic nervous system. We can slow the heart rate and we can slow the respiratory rate. Now, I challenge you, if you wear any of those, smart watches like the Fitbits and all that track your heart rate, I recommend that after you practice this a little bit, to see if you can notice your heart rate coming down with this, because it can work fairly quickly. I can get my heart rate to come down within a minute of just doing this deep belly breathing, okay? So now to do the 3-part breath, I'm going to recommend when you're practicing that you start with feeling the areas with your hands. But what we're going to do is we're going to first start with the first part, which is sending your inhale into the belly, okay? So the inhale, the belly is going to come out. And then after we practice that a few times, what you're going to do is after you have the in-breath go to your belly, you're then going to focus on the second part of your ribs coming out on the inhale. And then after that, we're going to move to the chest and have the chest come out on the inhale. So that's the 3 parts. On the inhale, first the belly comes out, then the ribs, and then the chest. Now what happens is on the exhale, it moves in the opposite direction. Okay? Chest, ribs, belly. Okay? So in the inhale, belly, ribs, chest come out. On the exhale, chest, ribs, belly come in. Okay? So let's practice. So take one or both of your hands and place on your abdomen. Okay? And it might be helpful to try closing your eyes. But as you inhale, really think about sending that breath into the belly and feeling it expand. And then on the exhale, feel your belly contract and come in. On the inhale, the belly comes out. And on the exhale, the belly comes in. On the inhale, the belly comes out. And on the exhale, the belly comes in. And again, you can have access to this video, but just remember, you can practice this over the time, but that's the first part of the breath, okay? And to get started, if you find this breath pattern really difficult, just stick with the first part, okay? Just stick with the belly breathing, just straight belly. Just go into the belly and out, okay? And you'll be fine, all right? But when you're ready to progress, after you do that inhale into the belly, the second part is try to do an extra sip of air and expand your ribs, okay? So your belly comes out on the inhale, and then you do one more inhale and fill up your ribs and have your ribs expand. So to feel this, place your hands on the outside of your rib cage, okay, one or both. And as you inhale, all right, fill up your belly and then fill up your ribs, okay? And then on the exhale, your ribs come down and your belly comes in, okay? So in the inhale, your belly comes out, ribs come out, exhale, ribs come down, belly comes in, okay? And again, practice on your own. Now the third part, all right, is your chest. Okay, so this is the last part to come out with a 3-part breath. And it's nice to feel, so you can place one or both hands on your chest right below your collarbones, okay, to feel this. So what's going to happen here is, again, you start first with sending the breath into your belly, having your belly expand. Then take in a little bit more air, have your ribs expand, and then do another inhale and have your chest expand. It's hard to do when I'm talking, but I'm going to give you a moment. Okay, again, keep your eyes closed if it's helpful. On the inhale, have your belly come out, ribs come out, chest comes out, and on the exhale, have your chest, ribs, and then belly come in, okay? So in the inhale, belly comes out, ribs come out, chest comes out. Exhale, chest comes down, ribs come down, belly comes down. And again, what this is allowing is for maximal inhalation, maximal intake of oxygen, therefore maximal energy production. Okay, it's a very invigorating breath pattern, all right? And then with that deep exhale, that's allowing for maximal waste, carbon dioxide, to be released from our body, all right? Now, after you get this down, you don't always have to have your hands here, okay? Now, I use this as a meditative kind of practice, okay? And I like to actually, when I'm on my own, put one hand on my heart and one hand on my belly, okay? And I'm usually sitting when I do this, or lying in bed, all right, whatever's comfortable. And I meditate on this, and I think about, all right, my point of focus when I'm using this as a meditation tool is I actually focus on the inhale, the slight separation between my hands on the inhale, and on the exhale, the slight coming together of my hands. And for some reason, I just really like it. I find it super relaxing, okay? Just that in and of itself, all right? Now, you guys, if you do struggle with anxiety or stress, or, you know, at work, we all do, this is a very portable technique that you can use to quickly calm yourself down, okay? So if you're lying at the grocery store, you're on a difficult phone call, you're in the car during rush hour and you're late for work, whatever it is, you can do this anywhere where you are, and nobody would even know what you're doing. You're just taking deep breaths, okay? And so again, the hands are just for you to get used to feeling what's happening with these changes, but you don't have to do the hands all the time, okay? So let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you find this useful. Okay, thanks so much.